He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He's the greatest.
Angel Di Maria?
Scaloni?
Oh, my God.
We didn't really get into the Di Maria decision. I know we were going back and forth on previous episodes thinking that the path to victory would be on the right side.
Yeah.
We didn't get that one right.
And I thought that Di Maria would play on the right side.
I mean, let's catch our breath. For me, this is all about Messi. Yeah. I know it's low-hanging fruit at this point, but what can be said about this player? Calm, beautiful taken penalty, and then the build-up on the second goal.
Yeah.
If you wanted to read into conspiracy theories along this entire tournament, which I guess it's inescapable at this point, but that second goal was as beautiful as it gets, and Messi was a huge part of that build-up, too. I love how Argentina's playing. France have offered very little in this game.
Staggeringly little.
2 first-half subs. Argentina looks like the team that's been here before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And, you mentioned the conspiracy theories. It was their 5th penalty that was given. It was fairly soft. I thought it was a foul that occurred in the penalty area. Therefore, it is a penalty. But I can understand people saying that was soft. But Argentina dominated that first half. They were so much better in every respect. Defensively, limiting Mbappe to nothing. Limiting a French attack that has so much to it to nothing. Like you say, forcing them into 2 first-half substitutions. They were sensational defensively. And with the ball, they use it so effectively. Messi in particular. I know this is going to sound like he can do no wrong, but in counterattacks, makes the right decision every time, and sort of knows when to go for the killer punch. There was a through ball that he tried to find to Di Maria when there's an overlapper on the right side, Molina coming forward. Molina, who I also had a very good first half, but he plays like sort of this like Hollywood, going for the jugular sort of through ball. It didn't come off, but you see the ideas there. And you mentioned that second goal. I want to mention every single player that was a part of it, because they deserve it. From the back, and now when Molina receives the second ball, plays a nice pass into Alexis McAllister. Little ball around the corner for Messi. And that outside of the boot, little flick into space to DePaul is amazing. McAllister continues his run. DePaul finds him with a great ball. And then, we've seen that ball, that cross ball low to the far side get screwed up all the time. Perfect weight on it from McAllister. Di Maria with the composure to sort of punch it into the ground, get the little bounce over the leg of Lloris. I love that goal. I'm going to watch that goal 50 times over the course of the day and subsequent weeks, because that was everything that is beautiful about this sport, and Argentina did it in a damn World Cup final.
One of the great build-ups. Di Maria has really cemented his legacy as a big match player, delivered in Champions League final, delivered in Copa America, and now delivering on the grandest stage when it looked like he was out of the rotation. Not the easiest call from the manager, who I think has earned everybody's respect this tournament, Witty.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten every bit, like he undressed Didier Deschamps in that first half. Limited every threat, and that's the thing about what Argentina have done in this tournament. I know expected goals is not one of your favorite stats, but if you look at the quality of chances that they've given away, their XG against figure has not been higher than 0.6 in any game of this tournament. They know how to use the ball and maintain their structure defensively better than any international team that I think we've ever seen, honestly, at a World Cup. Like, the defensive structure, while
that
they
happened
still
quickly.
Play, I know, but like
the Saudi Arabia match wasn't that long ago.
I know, but like those goals were sort of freaks, right?
I mean, it was a great finish on.
Right? Yeah. But like in terms of like the defending there, it wasn't bad defending. They were amazing strikes. But yeah, I mean, in retrospect, that game was pretty crazy. But the way they defend is so beautiful. The way they attack, the managing of and that Di Maria call, I honestly thought it was a bad call before the start of the game, because to not play in 3 knockout rounds, to not sort of progress through the emotion of the World Cup knockout round, it's such a high level of intensity and play that you need to bring. And the fact that he's brought it, and he's been the best, it's like he took a break to get fresh, and he's using his freshness to dominate this game. I'm stunned by it.
There are no moves left for Didier Deschamps. You need Mbappe to be otherworldly.
Yeah.
This one's over.
I wouldn't say that.
I
wouldn't say that. We've seen.
if you're working for Fox, you're certainly not saying that, because you're trying to keep people from leaving. But this one's over. I know I'm risking all sorts of freezing cold takes, but I don't see a path here. They're all of a sudden going to get 2 goals. It would be, if France come back to just get this thing level, it would be a collapse of the highest order from Argentina.
Yeah.
And in the back of all their minds, they're all probably fearing it. There is zero indication from that first half that France can dig themselves out of this.
If anything, Argentina look likely to get the next one because they're going to have space on the counter. I just looked at the changes available. They already brought 2 on. They still have Kingsley Coman available. They still have Eduardo Camavinga available, who in theory is an attacking sub. But I guess this is sort of the moment where their depth has run out.
Yep.
France have got no punches left to throw from a personnel standpoint. That being said, I mean, the Netherlands game wasn't that long ago, right? When they were 2-0 up, heading into the 80th minute, and they conceded 2 goals.
And all it took was Weghorst.
Yeah, just big lumps. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They pulled Giroud off, who had a bad first half, I guess, but who had a good first half from them. I understand you need to chase the game. He was actually pressing better than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
It's just, this is where the lack of Benzema and Cuckoo, it's finally caught up to France, I think.
Yeah, and it's in this moment when you need to make a change. The one thing, though, is that France sort of have an attacking gear and a defending gear. I'm surprised at how much the defending gear was there, but I don't know if against this Argentina team you can just flick a switch. Argentina are going to go into a shell. They're going to defend a lot in the second half because that's generally what they do. But does that necessarily mean that France are going to pick them apart? We know that they can turn it on, but I think this Argentina team is too good defensively to just all of a sudden you're like, whoa, the France onslaught is coming. We'll see kind of in the first 10 minutes of the second half if the manager comes into the dressing room and says, all right, lads, I always keep the handbrake on. I always say, hey, let's try and defend and let's keep this game in front of us, but it's time to go. And maybe that leads to a different France in the second half. You start pulling off defenders and bringing on midfielders. I don't know what you do, but it's going to have to be a completely different performance because on the evidence of that first half, Argentina are cruising to a World Cup final.
Let's talk about one of the storylines associated with Lionel Messi attached to all of this, his future. The player's contract is running out. He's having a good season at PSG. He has another mountain to climb over there. No matter what, he'll finish out the season with his club. Barca are circling the player. These are 2 clubs that can operate some shady business. However, after Messi scored that first goal, I did reach out to some Inter Miami sources, and they're feeling pretty good right now. And I know there's been some debate what's better for Inter Miami. I mean, there's nothing for the player to do if he conquers this mountain. At this point, you ride off into the sunset. Inter Miami feel very good about how they're positioned. And in all, we talked about this briefly on the previous episode, in all this discussion about where Messi can land, it's either PSG or it's either Barcelona or it's either Inter Miami. MLS's calendar affords the opportunity to do both.
Yeah.
The player can be loaned out. I'm not saying that will happen, but in January, I'd expect some news on this front in terms of a decision. It's always been that Lionel Messi was waiting to get through this World Cup. Have there been discussions? Absolutely. Are there good indications? 100%. But he didn't want to fully commit to a decision until this World Cup has played out. Right now, if you're an MLS fan, I'd feel pretty encouraged by how this is going.
Yeah, and I think that sense of having achieved, right? I mean, Ronaldo will have more Champions League finals, but he's got the World Cup. And by the way, I believe he's only the 3rd player in World Cup history to have scored in every single knockout game of a World Cup. Mm-hmm. So he's done it at this tournament. He's done it in the final, as Stugotz would say. Done it in the World Cup. By the way, you just saying PSG, Barcelona, Inter Miami, in all in the same breath is still kind of astounding. It goes to show what a draw MLS has become and Inter Miami in specific are. The reporting that you've done, some of the things that I've heard, the reporting that's been done in major media outlets all suggests, but ultimately we know better in the transfer world until you see a player holding up a jersey or an announcer that, in this case, that he signed a pre-contract. It's just one of those things that's impossible to believe.
Especially with those 2 clubs surrounding it.
Right, and also the level that he's playing.
Yeah, this is bigger.
He's playing ridiculously well.
As huge as the Beckham move was, to get a player that still had a lot of football left at the height of his fame to come to MLS. MLS is in a better place right now, and Messi is at his absolute apex in terms of fame and in form, too.
Yeah.
He's incredibly in form with this Winter World Cup, with the eyes of casual fans waiting for their Fox pregame show, to be able to see that player deliver, it would be, I think, the most impactful move MLS has ever made.
It's like one of the most impactful transfers in the history of world football. Like, honestly, for this player who has so much status in the game to be available right now, every club in the world would want their chance at Lionel Messi.
He's played it quite well, kind of like Aaron Judge did.
Yes.
He bet on himself.
He bet on himself. I mean, but also, like, probably wasn't going to get more than a 2-year contract at a big European club.
Yeah.
I imagine Inter Miami, they would like sign him to a 30-year contract right now if they could. It's wild. It's wild that it's even up for consideration. You allow yourself to dream as a fan to be like, well, could I watch Lionel Messi every week?
Is he going to play at the Drive Bank?
Could I watch Lionel Messi every week?
Yeah.
Like, you can't even believe it. But I mean, for the moment, you allow yourself to just get swept up in this player, this figure, doing it on this stage, and cementing himself as one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great.
Yeah. Well, there's only one thing left for Messi in Argentina, and that's to see this 45 minutes out. Will we see you in 45 minutes, or will he have another Netherlands on our hands?
Right.
I can't even imagine. There's been so much drama. Does this World Cup have one more moment in it? We'll see about that, but we will be live with you in hopefully 45 minutes if you're an Argentinian fan. Maybe longer if you're a French supporter. We'll be with you right here from the Auld Dubliner, right here on this YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe. Get a notification when we go live. YouTube.com/LeBatard and Friends. Hit that subscribe button. We will see you after the whistle.